Hello, I'm Dan Norenberg, advisor, coach, and consultant to executive and strategic leadership teams. Welcome to Norenberg's 90 Seconds. In these short clips, I'm going to share with you a leadership situation, the challenge, struggle, or blind spot this created for a leader. And then in about 90 seconds, I'll tell you about the idea, the tool, or the insight this leader and I discussed to help them be more successful. And in doing so, should you encounter a situation similar to this sometime in your future, you'll have an additional resource to help you be more effective. Let me say a couple words about today's situation. I met with an HR director and the head of research and development to discuss a potential executive coaching opportunity for one of their talented scientists. Both the HR director and the head of R&D agreed that this person, this leader, was important to the company's success. Yet her erratic and unprofessional behavior, these were their words, not mine, was not contributing to a psychologically safe environment for her department, which was critical to the company's success. In fact, some people were leaving the department based on this behavior, they told me. They asked me if I'd consider taking this person on as a coaching client, and I said I was interested in supporting them and this person in question. But I had a few questions first that I wanted to ask them. I'd like to share those with you now, anonymously, of course. This is Norenberg's 90 Seconds. You can start the clock. How does the person in question feel about the current situation, I ask? And how did she respond when you described these problems to her that you're describing to me, I ask? They both looked at each other, then they looked away, and finally one of them said, "Well, Dan, we haven't really spoken to the person about this, not really in detail, and not specifically. We wanted to speak to you first." How does what you're describing to me show up in this person's performance appraisal, I ask? The head of R&D stepped forward and said, "Dan, you'd have to read between the lines to see what's happening here. In our company culture, we don't address things so directly." Now, the long and the short of this situation is that nobody had spoken to or given feedback to this leader about how her leadership behavior was impacting others. We can't ask people to read between the lines because there's nothing there. People deserve to hear how others perceive them. This is how people and leaders grow. This is the backbone of performance management. How do you put backbone in your performance management approach? That's Norenberg's 90 Seconds. Thanks for joining me today.